Ready?
Yes? How can I help? About my mother? Then I...
Interjection. One moment. I believe I understood that, Master. It may not have been his intention, but he did actually communicate something. Translation. Result. I believe I've succeeded in confusing him, Master. We have shown an interest not common among outsiders. Translation. Translation. He is expressing disbelief, as am I, but his duty requires that he report to his chieftain. Extrapolation. It would seem that we are at least worthy of curiosity for the moment. I would much rather this get bloody, Master, but it is your call. Translation. I can translate with some guarantee of accuracy that he is demanding to know why he should let us survive this encounter, Master. Translation. Translation. He claims he has no reason to believe you, Master. Your kind have tainted this land with machines and uncaring, ignorant feet. Translation. He requires proof of good faith. We must make a contribution to his people that shows we are not a threat. Shall I blast him now, Master? Translation. Translation. He plans to move his people farther from Anchorhead, but they need to build up stores of water first. He says you must aid him. Translation. He wants moisture evaporators from the Zerka. If you deliver them, he will order that his people reduce their attacks on miners. Translation. Translation. He says you will get no more answers until you have proven you are an ally of the Sand People. Translation. Translation. He does not believe you, Master. We will only be allowed to re-enter the Enclave when we have the evaporators with us. Translation. We are to be escorted outside. He will wait, but he doesn't believe we are coming back.
Greetings again from the offices of Zerga Corporation. Is this about bounties or something else? I see that, but do you have the all-important chieftains, Gaffy? That was what you agreed to get for us. Very well, but we need this
ki mulira kun ki pa chiwi aita ka tong chicha agi inko tune chuna mulira tangi mama jikona tong ki pa chiwa aita kan kicha na jupornibo kun mulira slimo poiwanga tangi mama ji human acting chiwi aita ka tong chicha agi inko tune chuna mulira tangi mama jikona tong ki pa ki mulira kun kin tong hit mama aki inko tune Baba Hassan Shan no ba mulira kakin cha na
Oh, it's you again. Good hunt.
Extrapolation. This guard doesn't appear honored to have the job of greeting us. Translation. Translation. He will take us before the chieftain, as he was instructed to do. Translation. He did not expect us to return, Master. He wonders if we have brought the moisture evaporators. Translation. Translation. He says that he has made his offer and there will be no further negotiation, Master. Deliver the evaporators or face death. Shall I blast him now? Translation. Translation. He does not trust you, Master, but you have done more than any other outsider. they will not attack, and he grants you his chieftain's Gaffy as reward. Translation: the attacks will be reduced, and he will allow you to explore this enclave, but be warned that any lack of respect will result in death. Protocol: if you truly want this sadly peaceful arrangement to continue, be careful of what you ask. Protocol: this will be a very sensitive topic, Master. You will want to be careful with your questions or risk offending him. Not that that is much of a worry. Translation: Translation: he says that he will not, Master. There is one storyteller in each clan, and only he may recite the histories. Translation: Translation: he says that the fact that you have to ask, this is just one more example of your ignorance as an outsider, Master. He says you are blind. Translation: his people believe they are part of the land, living with it. You and your kind dare to raise yourself above it. You remove yourself. Translation: that act of removal makes you an outsider, separate from all that is important. You could never understand how unwelcome you are. Protocol: we should not keep him long. Clarification: we must be more specific, Master. They capture many organics. Translation: Translation: he says that the captive Jawas are slaves and that they have lived past their usefulness. You may take them if you wish. Protocol. Translation: Translation: he says that what you seek is far from here in the Eastern Dune Sea. He will give you a map so you can find your way. Translation: his people found it but didn't scavenge it because a crate dragon took up residence in the excavation. Translation: Translation: your ignorance isn't his concern. He claims there is a hunter that wanders the area sometimes and that you should ask him. Translation: the hunter is a Twi'lek. He will be in the Eastern Dune Sea somewhere. Translation: Translation: we are free to leave. Query: what do you... Translation: Translation: he says that you don't understand. They must never be told to someone who might say them incorrectly out of ignorance. Translation: to speak them in error is a blasphemy punishable by death. Only their greatest warriors are even permitted to listen to the tales. Translation: Translation: he doesn't know, Master. His people usually kill outsiders. Since you are an outsider yourself, that would not suffice. Translation: the greatest challenge for a warrior is to face a great dragon, the largest predator on Tatooine. Fight one of those, and bring back a dragon pearl. discussed. I think he's making fun of you, Master. He doesn't believe an outsider could do such a thing. Translation. Translation. Stones polished in the gullet of the beast. Apparently they are valuable items. Translation. Translation. He says there is a dragon in the Eastern Dune Sea that you could sacrifice yourself to. You already have a map to the area. Translation. There is a hunter, Translation. Translation.
Sure.
Master?
I'm here.
Greetings again from the offices. I see that, but do you have the all-important chieftain? Well, that is a very big headache that you've removed. I'm sure there are still sand people out there, but they'll be quieter now. I think I'll give you a bonus for this. You've more than lived up to your side of the bargain. Zerka Corporation thanks you. I'm sure. Zerka Corporation thanks you again. Greetings again. Of course, you've done a good job for us and I'm happy to pay you. You have fulfilled your end of the bargain, and Zerka Corporation is grateful. The Sand People will be less of a threat without their chieftain. I will, of course, continue to give you bounties on regular Gaffy sticks. Everyone helps. Farewell.
What can I do?
What? Yes?
What can I do?
Igratuhaku Jijiya, Kombepo Pamuko Varuba, Kupa, Unario, Wakatanti, Igratuhaku Jijiya. Wakati Manokoro Izi Sunanoku Mulira, Cholakin Chima, Walalamucha. Wangachonati Izi, Igratuhaku Jijiya, Jawapiman Wagratong, Igratuhaku Jijiya, Kombepo Pamuko Varuba, Kupa, Unario, Wakatanti, Igratuhaku Jijiya. Kupa, Unario, Wakati Manokoro Sunanoku Mulira, Okumile, Cholakin Chima, Walalamucha. Kupa, Unario, Wakati Manokoro Sunanoku Mulira, Okumile, Cholakin Chima, Walalamucha.
Oh, it's you again. I'll just let you pass. The boys in the office may need authorization in triplicate, but good hunting. Yes? Yes? Sure. Sure. What?
I'm tired of waiting, Comad. How big can this dragon of yours be? I'm going in.
Runda di hotonga kun honkabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tunking ba nunotek. Ka chikun ita hodonga. Iking kuno ba mulera chikun. Svimo podonar. Mucho shakpakat. Kieno no namapaole rachikun. Runda di hotonga kun honkabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tunking ba nunodek. Tugning chatukunde mulerabes. Ka chikun ita hodonga. Iking kuno ba mulera chikun. Svimo podonar. Dungaku, kajeda badawana ni dibobo. Tong nabungsha nununya. Tong patukas magtalea. Runda diho tonga kun hangkabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule. Tungking ba nunodek. Tugni. Ka chikun ita hodonga. Iking kuno ba mulera chikun. Svimo po runda di hotonga kun honkabi. One kun bez ching palamule tungking ba nunu. Ka chi kun ida hodonga. Iking kuno ba mulera chi kun. Slimo podonar di hodunga.
Jedo badowana ni di bobo. Dong na bungsha nununya. Dong patukashmak talea.
Runda di hodonga kun hongabi. One kun bez ching palamule tungking ba nunodek. Ka chi kun ida hodonga. Iking kuno ba mulera chi kun. Slimo podonar di hodunga kun hongabe. Runda di hodonga kun hongabi. One kun bez ching palamule tungking ba. Ka chi kun ida hodonga. Iking kuno ba mulera chi kun. Slimo podonar di. Runda di hodonga kun hongabi. One kun bez ching palamule tungking ba nunodek. Tugning chatukun ka chi kun ida hodonga. Iking kuno ba mulera chi kun. Slimo podonar di hodonga kun kabe. Runda di hodonga kun hongabi. One kun bez ching palamule tungking ba nunodek. Ka chi kun ida hodonga. Iking kuno ba mulera chi kun. Slimo podonar di hodonga kun kabe. Ka chi kun ida hodonga. Iking kuno ba mulera chi kun. Slimo podonar di hodonga kun kabe. Runda di hodonga kun hongabi. One kun bez ching palamule tungking ba nunodek. Tugning chut ka chi kun ida hodonga. Iking kuno ba mulera chi kun. Slimo podonar di hodonga kun kabe. Runda di hodonga kun hongabi. One kun bez.
Muchik. Jedo badowana ni di bobo. Dong na bungsha nununya. Dong patukashmak talea.
Runda di hodonga kun hongabi. One kun bez chi.
Muchashak pakat. Kiye no dama paole rachikun.
Here. So be it.
Achuta. Wonga kun bistul achuta. Wonga kun bistul.
Jeda badawana ni dibobo. Dong na bungsha nununya. Dong patuk. Tune podo. Rananu prata donko shirkasha. Jum na apike.
Nandayata. Wata yuma wama huhu nandatik. Shatung ni batoga.
Jeda badawana ni dibobo. Dong na bungsha nununya. Dong patukas magdalea.
Runda di hotonga kun honkabi. Wana kun bez ching palamule tongking ba nunotek. Togning chatukune mule.
Muchashak pakat. Kiye no namapaule rachikun.
I do not think it is mere chance that we have found the star map here, in the lair of a Krayt Dragon. The star map is an artifact of the dark side. The Krayt Dragon may have been drawn here by its dark power, only to be enslaved by it.
have to give you credit. You've led me on quite a chase, but nobody gets away from Calo Nord in the end. You got lucky on Terrace. The Sith attack saved you from a quick and gruesome death. But I promise you, the Sith won't be getting in my way this time. Sorry, I'm not in this for the credits. You're the only ones who've ever gotten away from me. I've got a rep to protect. Let's go, boys. It's showtime.
What can I do?
Yes?
What can I do? What can I do? What can I do?
Query, what do you wish to ask of him, Master? Proto. Translation. 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 He is stupefied, Master. He never thought you could return with such an item. Such a thing has not been done in many years. Translation. He will allow you to meet the storyteller, but also gives a warning. If you dare to repeat the histories incorrectly, you will be killed. Translation. The storyteller will be summoned to one of the rooms here in the Enclave. He seems to think this is a great honor for you, Master. Translation. 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 He He identifies himself as the storyteller, Master. He has been told of your warrior skills and will speak the history to you. Translation. Translation. There is only one accepted history, passed orally to each successive generation. Translation. A book or datapad can be taken away, cheapening the value of what it contains. To commit it to paper or storage is to remove it from the people. Translation. Translation. You may choose to hear the history, or you may choose not to. Their history is a single entity that cannot be partitioned. Translation. The only exception is in continuing the tales once they have begun. If you leave, when you return, he will continue from where he left off. Translation. Translation. It begins with the ancient times. They were not sand people, for there was no sand. The land was green with life, and they walked without wrappings. Translation. Though the land was beautiful, they lived apart from the land. They built their walls high and saw beyond the horizon. They dared to reach the stars. Translation. There are no words for how long ago this was. It was before the outsiders, before the abduction, before the cities fell, before the builders. Cautionary. I should warn you, Master, that any questioning of their clarification. Obedient. Translation. Translation. His arrogant people touched the stars, and this sin drew the attention of the builders. The builders did not touch the stars, they lashed them to millstones. Translation. Great demons of metal stripped the world of its riches, until all that was left was the green of the ground. The great cities were lifted away. Translation. Those that had used the wealth were taken along with it. Transgressors abducted to serve past the sky, seeding the stars with penitent, adaptable slaves. Translation. Translation. There came a time when the builders were also judged for their crimes. After generations, a plague weakened them, and the time of the Great War began. Translation. The builders faltered, and his people realized why they had been punished, so that they understood the crime, and would now strike down the greater offender. Translation. They worked chaos in the machines, so they destroyed themselves. The builders fought back, laying waste to the green that had been misused with fire from above. Translation. Soil became glass, grinding to sand, but the fight was long planned, and his people were safe. Deep in cave homes carved from valley wall, they were free. Translation. Editing, if I may, Master. This section of his tale details several millennia of the Long Walk, their nomadic wanderings as they accept their identity in a desert world. Rather than strain my circuits on his dialect, might we just assume there was much fighting over who has the biggest bantha and move on to more recent things? Translation. Translation: the tribes spread far, distant from each other, but all as sand people, and all cherished the land that remained. The sand would not be misused. Translation: then machines fell from the stars again, outsiders like you that brazenly walked apart from the land. And greater still was the insult to come. Translation: these outsiders reminded them of their past transgression, of the time when they too walked apart from land. The outsiders, your kind, looked like their ancient abducted. Translation: so it is to the current sons that the Sand People hate all outsiders and give them no footing. You come again, time after time, adaptable slaves to the machine. Editing. The last 1,000 years are full of conflicts with different groups of attempted planetary settlers, all of whom are poorly described, long dead, and likely untraceable. I believe I have truncated it down to the usable bits in what was already said. I hope it is enough, Master. Cautionary. Translation. Acknowledgement.
Sure.
How can I help? About my mother? Do you think I should? That would just lead to another argument. How I always despised talking to her. I'll think about it. I should try and remember my training. I should be able to let go of this, but I can't. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's keep going.
이쿠쿠노 노바물레라지군 동히군 전칭 내 보보제 마타 내 분나게 돌 Takom justach Mickey grabal mogo. Kachi ita. Ronda di hotonga kun hankabi. Achuta.
Back already? Have you even looked for the holocron yet?
I have the holocron, Mother. I'm just not sure I want to give it to you.
And why not? Would you deny me even that?
I've never denied you anything, Mother. You may think I don't remember what it was like before I left for the Order, but I do. You were the one who pushed Father to go on one treasure hunt after the other. You loved living in wealth. You think I don't remember the fights? You were eager to send me to the Jedi even though I didn't want to go. You took Father away from me. And now this holocron is all I have of him.
Fool girl. You have a strange way of remembering things. That wasn't...
No, I don't wish to argue with you anymore, Mother. It's time we parted ways now, for both our benefit. You don't know her. My mother is notoriously deceptive when she wants something. Why should she have the holocron?
Is it too difficult to believe that I am a dying woman who simply wishes to see her husband one last time?
I find it difficult to believe anything you say, Mother. You're right. It shames me, but I find it difficult to let go of the past. I'm sorry, Mother.
I was hard on you, dear. I wasn't a very good mother to you. I know that. Your father loved you so. He wanted you to be just like him. He wanted to take you on his hunts, but I said they were too dangerous. I always tried to keep him from the dangerous ones, but he would have none of it. It was a reckless life we led. Always moving. I didn't want that for you.
So that's why you gave me to the Order?
What do your father and I have to show for all those years of hunting? Nothing. That was no life for anyone. Especially not someone as gifted as you, your father. He spent all his last years trying to pay for my treatments. That's why he went for the pearls. I begged him not to, but...
Your treatments?
I'm dying, Bastila. I did not lie about that. It's been a long time in the coming, and there's really nothing that can be done anymore. I told your father to let me go, but you know how he was. Stubborn, like you.
I'm so sorry, Mother. I don't know what to say.
Keep the holocron, Bastila. It would do me good to know you have it. This talking to you. This is what I really needed before
I know. Thank you. I'm glad we talked too.
Well, you said you had important business, and you were never one to mince words. You there. You take care of my daughter, you hear me? That's good. I'll feel a lot better knowing there's someone to watch over.
Where are you going to go?
It doesn't matter, dear. Don't you worry about me.
Here, take these 500 credits. That's all I have. Go to Coruscant and find a doctor. I'll meet you there after what I have to do.
But I already told you there's nothing that can...
Please take it. I want to see you again, when we can talk.
All right, I will. You do what you have to, Bastila. You go make your father and I proud.
I'll try. Farewell, Mother. How can I help? Yes, that brought me a lot of peace. More than I thought it would have. Thank you for urging me toward it. After all my training, I would have thought it would have been easier. Apparently, I still have much to learn. How can I help? Why? I could not accomplish this on my own. I need the aid of others, especially one who is strong in the Force. The bond between us made you a natural choice. Besides, the events on Taris prove that the Force wanted to bring us together for this mission, and there is little left to chance when the Force is involved. Is that not enough for you? I said we were brought together for our mission, to stop Malak. I hardly think the Force would be pushing us toward a romantic involvement when the fate of the galaxy is at stake. Please try to stay focused. I doubt the Council would approve if they knew we were busy discussing our mutual attraction when we should be saving the galaxy from Malak. Finding the missing pieces of the star maps is our only... I admit, there were times that I wondered if this is more than just a mission to stop Malak. There were times when I wondered if this was also a way for the Council to test my own abilities. I wondered if the Council wanted to see how I would help and guide you on our quest. I wondered if they were testing me to see if I was ready to become a Jedi Master myself. And then I realized how foolish such thoughts were. As the Council explained, sending a Master in our group would only have drawn unwanted attention from the Sith. The fate of the galaxy is at stake. The Council would not risk it merely to test me. They calculated the risks, and in the end chose the only option available. You must learn to trust in the wisdom of the Council. Your destiny will come when its appointed time. You mustn't be so impatient. Come on, come. Let's move on. There's much to be done. How can I... Besides... I admit, there were times that I wondered if this is more than just a mission to stop Malak. There were times when I wondered if this was also a way for the Council to test my own abilities. I wondered if the Council wanted to see how I would help and guide you on our quest. And then I read the fate... You must learn to trust... Come on, come. Let's move on. There's much to be done. How can I help? I do. I've been trying to come up with the best way to say this for some time, but I suppose I should just come out and say it. The truth is, I have come to depend on you. Not just for the sake of the mission, but for my own sake as well. I'm glad you're with us. Well, yes. Surely that's not so surprising. No, I'm not. Why must you make this so difficult for me? Can't you just accept a simple compliment? I know my manner can be a bit taciturn. I know you must be getting sick of my lectures about the dark side and everything else. I spent all my years being hounded by my instructors, being told so often how gifted and important I was until I was sick of it. I remember when I was younger, I used to swear that I would never become as self-absorbed and stodgy as the Jedi Masters. It's ironic, really. That's kind of you to say, but I know for myself it's not really true. Being controlled has kept everyone around me at an arm's length. Even those like yourself who are most in need of my understanding and compassion. Maybe it's time to change that. You deserve to know how much I respect and admire you. I had to tell you how much I care for you. As a friend, of course. Well, that was not nearly so difficult as I feared. Thank you for hearing me out. I feel much better. But enough soul-searching for now. We should probably continue on with our mission. How can I help? I do. The truth. Did I? I am trying to be sincere here. It occurred to me that I may have been too critical of you, too demanding at times. I know my manner can be a bit taciturn. I remember when... That's kind of you to say, but I know for myself it's not really true. Being controlled has kept everyone around me at an arm's length. Even those like yourself who are most in need of my understanding and compassion. Maybe it's time to change that. You deserve to know how much I respect and admire you. I had to tell you how much I care for you. Well, that was not nearly so difficult as I feared. But enough soul... How can I help? I wish I could help you with that.
Yes, what's on your mind? I'm not really sure, but you can figure it out on your own, can't you? Yes, what's on your mind? I'm not very good at this. I know I owe you an apology. More than one, probably. I was just so desperate to finally face Saul directly in the battle over Terrace. And now the Jedi have us looking for these star maps. I know this mission is important, it's just, I feel a bit useless. I can fight, sure, but I'm no Jedi. All this feels completely out of my league. It doesn't, I know. It's been a while since I've even had to think about that sort of thing. I just hate not knowing what's going on and feeling this... helpless. But I shouldn't have taken that out on you. I've been a royal pain in the backside, haven't I? No, I do worry about it. I've traveled the lanes more than once. I should know better than this. So, I'm sorry. Will you accept my apology? Done. Let's get underway then, shall we, partner?
Another vision. The Force is guiding us, helping us retrace the steps of Malak and his old master, leading us ever closer to the Star Forge. It is strange that anyone would have built a star map here. The entire surface of Manaan is covered by nothing but vast oceans. The ocean floor is vast, and much of it is uncharted, even by the native Selkath. But how could Revan and Malak have found their way down? No doubt things will become more clear once we discover the star map's location. How can I help? Am I so transparent? I suppose I shouldn't be surprised, considering our bond. Yes, there is something I would like to ask, if you'll permit it. In our time together, I've been watching you. You are a true servant of the light. You follow the tenets of the Jedi Order despite the lure of the dark side. And with so little training. For me, it has always been a constant battle. Don't you find it difficult at all? You make it seem so easy. Or is that only an illusion? And that's enough for you. If only it were as easy for me. If only the right path was always clear. I've always struggled for control over my passions. I've always been too quick to anger, too quick to get involved. My instructors constantly berated me for it. I've often dreamed that I might be able to confront Darth Malak myself. I dream I can use all this power I have to kill him and stop all the death and destruction. I just think about all the evil that the Sith have caused, and I get so furious. Yet we are told that these feelings are the path to the dark side. Yes, of course, you're right. I have to remember my training. The Masters know well the corrupting influence of the dark side, although it is hard for me to imagine. The very thought that I could become as evil as Malak, I just can't fathom it. It just doesn't seem possible. I mean, how could I... No. Wait, I'm sorry. I shouldn't even be asking you this. The Jedi teachings are clear. Who am I to question them? And even worse, who am I to try and make you question them? These are dangerous thoughts. The indulgence of a vain mind. Please, forget I ever mentioned this. Let's just return to our mission. How can I help? Then I suggest we move on. I'm here.
You Republic people are so pathetic, sitting around groveling at the table scraps the galactic senators deign to give you. It makes me sick.
The senators work for the good of the whole galaxy, not for individual gain.
Ha! Don't make me laugh, you gutless simp. It's the destiny of weak-minded fools like you to be ruled over by the strong, like we Sith.
I'm warning you. Don't push me or you'll get just what you're asking for.
Try it. Just try it. I'd love to see you throw the first punch. And with all the cameras around, the Selkath would be all over you inside of 30 seconds. You break their laws. You pay the price, Republic scum. But I can see that you're not man enough to back up your words anyway. If you ever feel like relieving yourself of your worthless existence, feel free to come by our enclave here. We have many, many ways to fulfill your wish.
Yeah, what are you... Oh, I apologize, Master Jedi. I should not have been rude. Well, these damn Sith are everywhere on Manaan, pushing us Republic citizens around, trying to goad us into breaking the law somewhere. Yeah, the Selkath want to maintain their neutrality in this war we're fighting with the Sith, and they enforce it very strictly. So, we just have to sit here and let the Sith insult us and we can't raise a hand against them. Otherwise, the Republic will face severe Kolto export restrictions, and that could lose us the war altogether. You're joking, right? I'm sorry, but everyone knows what Kolto is. It's the most powerful healing agent in the galaxy. I would have died several times myself if we didn't have this stuff handy. But the reason it's important here is that Kolto is only found naturally on Manaan, and all of our attempts to synthesize it have failed miserably. So, we sit here on the surface, the Selkath harvesting what Kolto bubbles up from the bottom of the ocean, and we buy it from them. Well, us and the Sith, of course. The Selkath don't want to play favorites. The Selkath think that by staying neutral, they can play both sides, selling Kolto to everyone that needs it, and making themselves too valuable to be worth conquering. Well, that, and they threaten to destroy the only natural source of Kolto on the planet if anyone tries to attack them. But I think they're underestimating the length the Sith will go to get what they want. They're probably planning something already. Is there anything else you require? A star map? Like an ancient artifact or something? No, I'm sorry, I've never heard of it. Is there anything else I can do for you? Well, these damn Sith are everywhere on Manaan, pushing us Republic citizens around, trying to goad us into breaking the law somewhere. And there's nothing we can do, though. The Selkath want to maintain their neutrality, and they enforce it very strictly. So, we just have to sit here and let the Sith insult us, and we can't raise a hand against them. Otherwise, the Republic will face severe Kolto export restrictions, and that could lose us the war altogether. It's big. Real big. Actually, it's pretty much the only real city on the entire world. The only place for us air breathers, anyway. Manaan is a water world, which you may have noticed on your way down to land here, inhabited natively by a species of fish people called the Selkath. They built this city to cater to us off-worlders, and as a base of operations to export Kolto, which is the only real thing they have to trade here. The Selkath think that by staying neutral, they can play both sides, selling Kolto to everyone that needs it, and making themselves too valuable to be worth conquering. Well, that, and they threaten to destroy the only natural source of Kolto on the planet if anyone tries to attack them. But I think they're underestimating the length the Sith will go to get what they want. They're probably planning something already. Is there anything else you require? Of course. If you have any other questions, you should probably see Roland Wan. He's the Republic diplomat here. He's by the Republic Enclave near the visitor residences. Oh, if you don't know where that is, go north from here, then south past the port official in the first courtyard, east into the second courtyard, then north, then east again. You got that? Have a pleasant stay, Master Jedi.
How can I help? Then I...
Solo Tandy Crest, no Sergio.